Guys, there are only two types of people that don't talk so much. So, the first type is the more intellectual type. He likes to listen to others before speaking, and then he tends to hold the opinion for himself. Maybe that's the reason he doesn't like to talk too much, because he doesn't want to expose his opinion for any kind of reason. And then there is another type of people who they don't talk too much, and most of those are, let's say, stupid people. They don't know a lot about this subject, about this domain, and they don't want to talk about it because they don't want to act as someone who doesn't understand, and that's why they tend to hold those thoughts for themselves. So those are more intellectual or more stupid people. And I find myself very often in situations when I don't talk too much. I'm just trying to figure out in what group I belong to. Am I this more intellectual type? Or am I, who knows? Hi guys, welcome once more to my little podcast. As you can see, today I'm wearing my hat. I don't know why. I'm just going with the flow. So what happened, and I said this would be the last time I'm going to speak about this subject. Last week, I quit my current job, and I just want to share with you my experiences, how it went, what was the reactions, and what is my reflection on those reactions. So as you already know, if you're paying attention for the last 2-3 episodes, I decided to take another option, another job that I think that in the long run it will be more beneficial for me. It makes more sense. The domain is more interesting for me. The company that I'm moving into has a better, let's say, business sense, this business model, and it stands quite good when it comes financially. And at the end, my personal contract and my benefits are way better than are currently in this company. But nevertheless, this week I decided to tell my current bosses that I'm resigning, that I'm quitting my job. And I just want to share what I found out. So you know that we are talking about 48 the rules of power, how to make friends, how to be how to communicate with other people, on what areas you should focus on when you're trying to reach other people and trying to intrigue other people to make conversation and so on, so that they reveal themselves. And all of those materials, all of those books that I have read, they only helped me in this process because they kept my calm when I was speaking with them. Basically, I have two bosses. One immediate, the first level, let's say, my superior, and then I have a second boss that's basically the CEO of the company. My first boss, that's currently CTO, when I went and talked to him about my resignation, that I'm leaving this company, his reaction was, let's say, more human-like. The type of reaction that you would expect of a normal human being when they say that I'm quitting this job. Okay, his reaction was, okay, I understand. It came a little bit like a shock, but it it's not like he wasn't expecting that. So he's monitoring me, he understands me, he knows how I behave, what drives me, what doesn't drive me, and he feels this. And he felt this during the last, I don't know, 1 or 2 years, the way that the job affected me and how I was performing and so on. And somehow he felt within that it's inevitable, that it will happen. It has to happen because I'm over, and this is his words. You are here over 10 years. It's completely normal that you want to see what's outside. Is the grass greener in your neighbor's yard? And it's completely normal. He has been in similar situations few times in his professional life, and it's a good decision, and he thinks that it's good and beneficial for me to go and to see, to learn, to get more experience, and maybe in the longer run, maybe we will work together somewhere in the future. Maybe I will return to the company and so on. It doesn't matter, but I will be richer and enriched with this new experience and find out something new. And it's good for me to try this because he was several times in my shoes in this situation. So this is completely normal human behavior, saying, okay, it's not about me and what I want and about the company, the current company. It's about telling the other human being that I respect that, it's completely normal, I support you, and I wish you all the luck in the world. So it's this completely reasonable answer, I would say, and reaction. Of course, he tried to see if whether or not there is some kind of room for negotiation. Maybe we can talk about if there are any kind of potential or something like that for me to stay. Is there any room to to make a deal? But I said no, and that I have made up my mind, and he totally gets it, respects it. He said, okay, try, please. I wish you all the best, all the luck. As I said, it maybe he didn't expect it so early, but he knew that this was coming. So it's not groundbreaking or like an earthquake. And that's one of them, and it was quite nice conversation, quite normal, and I still have one conversation with him about who will I pass down all of my tasks and so on, what about my vacation time and so on. And I believe it will be a very pleasant conversation in the future. And then we have this another boss that's CEO of the company. And when I told him, well, first I went there because of some job, because of some opportunity that I have to prepare some kind of demonstration and so on. That it's very, very big customer. We have a great shot with him, so we have to prepare a demonstration. It have to be advanced, good. It has to show all the capabilities of our systems, our products, and so on. And understood that. And immediately after this conversation, I remain in his room, just the two of us, and then I said that it's over, that it's time for me to move on, and that I'm quitting my job. So his first reaction was, "Oh, okay, so you're fed up with this, with everything." It's not like, okay, I respect, I understand, or why did you decide to quit job? It was, okay, so you're fed up with us. It's all came all above your head, and you don't want to mess your life additionally in this company. So basically, it's he all turned to himself, and all of the reaction was how he felt and what is the consequences on his ego or and so on, and him personally. That's the difference between those two bosses. One of them projected the thoughts on me, and he told me what I need to hear. That's normal human behavior. And the second reaction from the second boss was how his ego was hurt. He didn't say it like that, obviously, but it was all about the ego. And nothing is important as his ego, at least for him. And this ego prevents the guy from hearing anything. If you talk to the guy, he doesn't listen, he doesn't want to listen, he doesn't care. He immediately knows the response that he's going to give, he immediately knows what's the next line, next sentence that he's going to say to you, and he just doesn't listen to anyone. He doesn't care. His ego doesn't care about the feelings and about what other people have to say, what are their opinions, and so on. So this was the first reaction. So you're fed up with us. So this is the first thing. The second thing is the most complex thing that I want to talk about. And he said in his words is, I was looking at you for a longer time and I see, and I saw, and I see it also today, that you simply do not believe in this. You never believed. It's something that, okay, you can now go and argue with that guy and argue with his ego, saying, oh no, that's not right. I have done, I don't know in how many occasions I have turned down other proposal because of this company. How many times I was working over the weekends, through the nights for this company, and I didn't even ask for any kind of compensation. I didn't go and say you have to pay me for all the overtimes and so on. So I could go in this direction. I could have gone in this direction when I was talking with him. But what's the use? Because the ego is so inflated. Everything that you say bounces right off of this ego. So you're speaking like with a little child, small child. It doesn't make any kind of sense to talk reasonably and to try to make a statement, an argument that is not true. That's simply not true. That I never believed in this company and I don't believe in this company. So you can tell anything to me that I'm like this, like that, I don't work, I'm crazy, I don't look good, I smell bad, I don't know what. You can tell a lot of things, but that I do not care, and I never cared about. So you understand, that's subjective opinion from some guy. And basically, it's an automatic reaction, like you have this reaction from your body when you have some kind of virus, then you have an immediate reaction that fights this virus. This ego or this boss also has this kind of reaction, because I thought that I was speaking normally to a human and that it came to this. It's my time, it's my life, it's simply the right time for me to try something new. And the guy simply somehow turned it all, that it was all about him. Because when the ego is so inflated, when you say anything, it doesn't touch this ego. So immediately I have, let's say, when I analyzed this afterwards, after we had this conversation, in this post-analysis, I just simply came to a conclusion that his ego was hurt, because you have a director. I'm currently director in the company. Basically, I'm amongst top 7 people in the company who believes in the company, who wants the company to rise, to flourish, to have the best intentions for the company. And then you have these situations when one of them is basically going to another company. I didn't have to say anything from my side why I am moving to another company, what's bad, and what's the problem with the current company. I didn't say anything about that. So I was not talking about what's the bad things in the current company that I don't like, and maybe they have somehow are included in my decision to move to another job. So we didn't touch this topic at all, but nevertheless, it was interpreted by him in a way. So you don't believe in this, you have never believed, so you don't care about us, and you understand. So it's all about him, all about his company, because he is the CEO, he is the general manager, he is driving the boat, and by me, by my leaving, so this situation, I don't have to tell anything. The mere act, my act of leaving the company, somehow it's interpreted in his mind that I don't believe in the current management. I don't think that the company is managed well, that we are not going in the right direction, that simply I do not agree with the current politics and the directions and the guidelines that we have. And all of the directions, guidelines, and politics in the company is tailored from our directors. That is from him. And by leaving the company, I'm silently saying that at least in his mind, that I do not respect that. Like, I shit all over his work. And I said, fuck you, everything is going to hell, and all of your decisions are bad, and I don't like them, and you don't manage the company well, and so on. So it somehow was interpreted in that way. Obviously, he didn't say that to me, but obviously the ego was hurt. He had this kind of reaction. And then immediately, check this out, it was planned for me and for my colleague, and it was very funny because this colleague that I was at, and it was planned to go to America, to the US, for some kind of a conference in July. So he decided to also quit his job on the same day in the morning. So he quit his job 2 hours before me. And it was very funny because he came into our room and said, guys, I'm just for you to know, I'm going to another company, so I quit my job. And I was like laughing, so because I was thinking in my mind, oh my God, you simply don't know what's coming. Because at the same day, 2 hours later, I also quit my job. But it's funny because the two of us, we were planned to go to this conference, and we planned in the US, in the California, and we planned the whole state. So it was 1 week stay in US, in San Diego, for this conference, and then we planned additional 3 days just to move around, to go sightseeing, to Vegas, to Grand Canyon, go through Nevada, through Arizona, and so on. And we planned all the hotels and we booked them and the cars and so on. And the CEO of the company, when we decided to resign and to say that we are quitting, he immediately crossed us out from the list, saying you're not going to America, because when we are sending someone to America, we are thinking it as investment, and somehow it has to be, from at least from their perspective, we have to think about going to America like they are giving us a gift. It's a reward for something. Going to America is a reward. What the fuck? So I'm traveling all around the world. I was in Singapore twice, in Thailand, in India. I don't know where I was. So suddenly going to America, to sacred America, it's a reward for us here in Croatia and in our company. If I want to go to America, I book my flight and I go to America. What's the big deal? It's just simply another country that I can go and visit. I was in Copenhagen 2 or 3 weeks ago, and what? So it's Denmark. So going to Copenhagen, it's not a reward, but going to US, it's a reward. And it has to be perceived, at least they think so, as a reward. Oh, thank you, God, you're bringing me to America. Otherwise, I would be stuck in my little box, stupid box, and I would be, I don't know what. So you understand this mindset. It's completely wrong mindset. Of course, I didn't tell him that, but now I'm telling you guys because I'm making a podcast and I believe this is interesting topic. Maybe you will come across someday and you will be in similar situations, so that you know people simply don't care. They care only about themselves, what they want. Most of them have a big, enormous ego, and you have to fight with this. You have to live with this. So we will not go to America. Immediately he canceled all of our flights and everything. And we had to cancel all of our bookings for this additional 3 days. And we will get our money back for at least for the 2 nights. And for the 3rd nights, unfortunately, we will not get our money back because we were too late. It was past due when we had the opportunity to cancel the stay. And that's it. So we have lost this money because of him. And you know what? We had to go, or we were planned to go to America and to US and to San Diego to this conference because we had a job to do. We had a booth there. We have a booth there. We have a workshop there. We have demonstrations and so on. So if nothing, I have shown over the years my dedication to work, that what you give me, the task you give me, I will do it. I will do it before time, in advance, everything. It will always be done. I will never be late. And I always do all of my tasks professionally. Period. So making this statement that it has to be taken as an award for me to go to America, it's simply bullshit. Like I wouldn't perform well, or I will undermine, or I don't know what, sabotage our conference on purpose. Why? If I, what, eventually, if they decided that I will go to America, I would perform professionally as always. I would do my job. I would do all of my tasks, all of the workshops, and so on. It doesn't have to do anything with what I believe, don't believe, will I resign, will I quit my job. doesn't have anything with that. It's a job, it's a task. I'm paid for that, and I will go and I will perform like I always do. But somebody thinks that going to America is an award and reward, and you don't have the right to go because it has to be perceived as an investment. If I'm taking you to America, I'm investing in you. But if I'm taking you to Bosnia, then I'm not investing. Crazy, crazy thoughts. But nevertheless, I'm not angry. I'm not sad. I didn't reply anything. I said, okay, I understand. The second reason was okay because the current company is not in a very good financial environment, is not standing financially good, that it will be better that we don't go because it's very expensive, the hotels and everything else, and it's reasonable for us to cut costs and not to take additional people who will, at the end of the day, they're not even part of this company and they will leave in 2 months. So what's the point? That is something that's true, and I totally agree. I don't want that company goes in any additional debt or financial problems because of me. And I completely understand and support that. But it's an award and reward for me to go to America. No. Why? It's a job, it's a task, and I would perform like any other tasks. But I didn't want to go into any kind of arguments and any kind of this ping pong between I think that you're not right, because as we learned from other books that we read, we never say that someone's wrong, because it will not be received on the other side well, especially if someone has a big ego. So I said, okay, it's your subjective opinion and that's it. And in the days after that, in the days to come, in the next, so for the past 5, 6, 7 days, this guy has been totally, I don't know, lunatic. He has been behaving like inquisitor. So he has been analyzing all of the projects in our company, going deep down into nuts and bolts of everything. He was, like I said, he's like a washing machine. He's turning in a centrifuge everybody else. What's going on in the project? Why you didn't perform? Why you didn't do that task? Why are you having this meeting? Why do you have this meeting? What's the purpose? Where are your documents? So he's behaving like an inquisitor and trying to figure out what's going on in his company by doing inquisition. I don't know, guys. So nevertheless, I have told you what was like for me, what are the reactions, and that's it. I will now speak with my superior, this first guy who had a normal reaction, just to agree upon all of the formalities when I'm going to leave the company and what to do in the next 2 months. And that's it. I still have a party to prepare for all of the guys in my current company, and then I will try my luck elsewhere in the new company and in the new environment with new people, with new problems and challenges, and we'll see. Well, like everything, I'm not scared. I can't wait to grab those problems and to tackle with them. Now you know, guys, how it went. Please, guys, subscribe and share this video and like. At least one like. Thank you. Bye bye.